All right, let's go on and get into this right here. This is ridiculous. Now, we eat this breakfast cereal called Lucky Charms. It's made by General Mills. Some of you might have heard of it. It's pretty popular here in America. Um, but they're currently doing a contest. This is a current box, and they're doing a contest here where you can actually win a box, a full size cereal box, children's cereal box of only marshmallows. Do you get what that means? You win a whole cereal box full of the sugar. That's the marshmallow. That's all it is. That's all them marshmallows are is sugar. Bro, that's 11.5 ounces of sugar. That's nearly a pound of sugar for a child. But see, I want to get into something a little deeper than that. Not that that's not bad or crazy or noteworthy, but I found something a little crazier than that. If we look a little deeper in the tricks rabbit hole here for a second, if you will. Who is this? That's Lucky the Leprechaun. Okay? But is it? Is that who that is? I'm not so sure anymore. And I'm about to get into this. By the way, they're giving away 10,000 boxes of the only marshmallows for the lucky winners. Yeah. 10,000 boxes. Keep that in mind. This is going to be a ridiculous trip. Take this trip with me here. Now, this is the evolution of Lucky the Leprechaun. You can find this easily on Google Images. Now, I'm going to ask you something. If that was Lucky, who we see right there, if that's Lucky, who's this? You know? Who's that? I submit that that's the original Lucky Leprechaun. Which is interesting. And I'll tell you why here in a minute. But I also want you to note that Lucky seems to be throwing up symbols or signs, Illuminati signs, or maybe even just gang symbols with his hands, and almost every time you see him. Look at that. Is that Freemason stuff? But that's a side issue. See how his chin's placed on that second knuckle there? See, this one he's holding the heart. This one he's holding the horseshoe. 83, horseshoe, 73, heart. But anyways, that's for another video entirely. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is Lucky Leprechaun, okay? Leprechauns don't die, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. I'm going to prove it to you. We're from 64 to 73. What happened? That's not the same dude. You can clearly see all of these are different leprechauns, okay? And one of them's not even a leprechaun. And his name's not even Lucky. In 1975, they changed it over to Waldo the Wizard. And he's pretty gay looking. So I don't know why they did that, but, or even how. So we're going to try to figure this out, man. Because I noticed this, and see, this bottom left one here. This is the one I grew up with as a kid. This Disney looking dude. And this has gotten so deep. It's just, it's completely shattered my childhood. Now let's go in here and let's dig into this thing for real. Now, we're going to go check out leprechauns in Wikipedia. Now look, Wikipedia tells us that leprechauns cannot be killed. They can be captured, but they will grant up to 3 wishes in exchange for their freedom. It's important. Leprechauns cannot be killed. They can be captured, and I'm going to show you how. Now, this is a film called Leprechaun. It's had many iterations, starring Warwick Davis, who is an actual leprechaun. And I'm going to show you that here in a minute. It's a low budget film for American films. But here's the deal. Let me show you what's going on with this. Dude steals 100 gold coins from the leprechaun, who doesn't have a name in the movie. Okay. Uses a 4-leaf clover to suppress the leprechaun's powers and trap him inside of a crate so that he can burn it. But then before he burns it, he suffers a stroke. So he thinks he can burn it. But let's just look at this logically. You get the leprechaun, you trap him in a crate. You put the 4-leaf clover on top of it. That's how you trap him in the crate. It's a magical seal, right? It's a rune, okay? This is ancient technology we're working with here. Now you catch fire to this crate. If he was successful, which obviously he wasn't, but if he was successful, the crate would have burned up and the clover would have burned up. The leprechaun would have been fine. Pissed off, singed, maybe, but pissed off even more than usual. Okay, let's take a trip over here and show you something else. This is Warwick Davis, who played the leprechaun in the movie that depicts an actual leprechaun. But the funny thing is, do you notice anything about this man, in quotes? It would seem that Warwick Ashley Davis, and that's got to be a fake name and birth date. He is an actual leprechaun. Look at the dimensions of this man, quote unquote. But see, he's never aged, for one. He played Willow. He played an Ewok in Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And he also played 2 characters in the Harry Potter films, Grip Hook and the music teacher, Professor Phileas Flitwick. And he was also in sitcoms and blah, blah, blah. Look at that. It tells you right there, height, 3 foot 6 inches. That's a leprechaun. That is a leprechaun. Now let's look at something else. On this journey. Now, we go over to NBA.com and we see that Lucky the leprechaun has been a busy little bastard. He doesn't just hawk sugar to children on breakfast cereal boxes and TV commercials. But he also is the spokesman for the ever popular Celtics basketball team for the NBA. Which, as it just so happens, they're looking for a new one. As I'm recording this video. The deadline to submit reels and resumes is Monday the 17th of this month. Okay. Tell me why they need a new mascot. What happened to their old leprechaun? Something's getting deep here, folks. Something crazy's happening here. And just look at the required skills and abilities they're asking of their leprechauns. They want you to have at least 5 years experience as a leprechaun, as an entertainer, right? An exposed leprechaun. They want you to know how to be a cheerleader and know various tumbling techniques. I suppose that's to distract and to use parkour and get the children's cereal away from the kiddies, but also to play basketball, right? Highly organized and excellent administration. Now listen to this. And time management skills. And as we all know, leprechauns can freeze time. They must be able to meet tight deadlines and work effectively in high pressure environment. We're going to get to that in a second, but just remember that high pressure environment. They need to have excellent people skills. Why? Because they'll be dealing with humans with an ability to interact professionally with internal and external clients at all levels within an organization. See, you ain't just dancing around with a basketball and posing for pictures or stealing children's cereal and hopping around using parkour to get away from them And you ain't just hoarding gold coins and granting wishes. You gotta meet all of these. Also, interesting enough, if you look down here, you have to be proficient in Microsoft Word, Excel, and Outlook for some reason. But they say it's a full-time position, available for all homecoming games. Well, reliable transportation. They're not going to out and out say it, but we all know that it's a real leprechaun, and real leprechauns can do real magic. So teleportation is not a problem. Now, as we work through the math, remember the box weight that I showed you earlier? 11.5 ounces, nearly a pound. Well, if you move that decimal place over the appropriate amount of times, what that ends up with, remember, they're giving away 10,000 boxes of this all marshmallow, all sugar cereal. It's not even cereal at that point. It's just boxes of sugar that they'll ship to children all around the world. That comes out to 7,187.5 pounds of sugar. I submit to you, because the question is this: where are they getting all these leprechauns? Why do they need all these extra leprechauns? Where are the old leprechauns going? Why are there so many jobs for leprechauns? Because here's my deal. There's only a few leprechauns in existence. Warwick Davis is one of them. He's the public one. But there's more. Obviously, he's not Lucky, the lucky leprechaun or whatever. But there was at least 9 or 8 that I showed you a while ago, and one of them was a wizard, or maybe a leprechaun that they try to pass off as a wizard. So between 9 and 10 leprechauns are known to exist. Where are they going? And why do we keep seeing new ones? Why? They don't age. They can't die. What are they doing with these leprechauns, bro? And that's just, that's deeper into the rabbit hole. I don't know. I haven't figured out where these leprechauns are going, much less where they come from. I mean, Ireland for sure, but how and where in Ireland? I don't know that yet. They say it's legend, but obviously these things are real. I just showed you a real leprechaun. He's an actor. And, you know, if you want, matter of fact, let's pull up some footage of leprechauns right now. Now, this is from a few years ago. As you can see, it's from NBC. You know, we all know Donald Trump doesn't exist. Fake news is a made-up term by the Republicans. Duh. I mean, we already know that. We on the same page. I'm not going to spend any time whatsoever on that. So everything you see on the news is real. So just keep that in mind, especially from things like NBC, CNN, you know, the real networks, not like Infowars.com or Newswars.com or anything like that. So let's watch this real footage of a leprechaun here.
Pictures. To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else seen the leprechaun say yeah? Yeah!
Does that look like the face of a liar or a fool?
Eyewitnesses say the leprechaun only comes out at night. If you shine a light in its direction, it suddenly disappears.
Just as a leprechaun would do.
This amateur sketch resembles what many of you say the leprechaun looks like. Others find it hard to believe and have come up with their own theories and explanations for the image.
My theory is it's casting a shadow from the other limb.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff.
Now, I will get into this in a second, but leprechauns do smoke drugs. So it could also be a crackhead, as she puts it.
Told him to get up in a tree and play a leprechaun.
We're going to get down to the bottom of this. Yeah, it's still on there, guy. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, man.
This guy helping to direct traffic says he's prepared for his encounter with the leprechaun. He's suited up from head to toe.
This wars off spells right here. This is a special leprechaun flute, which has been passed down from thousands of years ago from my great-great-grandfather who was Irish. I just came to help out.
Others just came to get lucky in hopes a pot of gold may be buried under this tree.
Now, that's the only part where they're mistaken. I wouldn't call that fake news. Every bit of this is obviously honest and real. It's just that they don't bury pots of gold up under the trees, as everybody knows. And, you know, leprechauns put their pots of gold at the ends of rainbows. They're always on the move. They're mobile. The closer you get to a rainbow, the farther it gets away. When you look at a rainbow, because the nature of a rainbow is refracted light through water molecules in the skies, in the heavens. The way that works is rainbows can tell when you're looking at them. So, leprechauns can tell when you're coming towards their stash of gold. Just to throw that in there.
I'm gonna run a backhoe and uproot that tree. I wanna know where the gold at. I want the gold. Give me the gold. I want the gold.
This is Brian Johnson, NBC 15 News.
People will.
See, now why would the news lie? Now see, this dude's laughing. He's Irish. He might have some leprechaun in him. The Nephilim, okay, it is a thing. Demons do breed with people. I'm just saying.
Anything for a pot of gold. I mean, anything.
You know what I like?
See, she is not laughing. She's taking this serious. It's a serious affair. It's serious news. Real news. Not fake news. Now, this is from a movie. I'm going to tell you that right now. But the guy in the movie is played by Ice-T, who is also a real-life New York Police Department officer. He's a real-life cop, because we know television don't lie whatsoever. So this is an actual depiction of something he did before his rap career, and possibly even through the time, in his time leading the band Body Count.
Need to relax, cool out.
That's leprechaun language there at the bottom, by the way.
Yeah. Curious aroma.
That's Warwick Davis, an actual leprechaun.
Interesting blend. Interesting bullshit. That's the bomb right there.
Now, Warwick Davis is a leprechaun, as I've proven already, and he does smoke drugs, which I will prove that beyond the shadow of a doubt right now.
He never told me that his partner was a blind Bama boy.
That's Warwick Davis,
Arlene.
the leprechaun.
Demur's just called. Thurman's sick.
Well, what about Sassy?
Flat
In a jazz club in the 20s, because he's a time traveler. Never mind that. That's the confusion.
Okay, Bama. Why don't you get on up there and show me what you got?
Well, I'm not prepared to do my thing right now. Tonight,
Well, this is the only audition you're going to get, Puddin', so either get on up there or you and Gossie can haul your asses back down south.
Here, smoke some of this.
This ain't no tobacco, man.
No, hold it in. It'll calm you down.
All right, Oberon. Get on up there and introduce him.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Bama. Let's go.
Yeah.
Now, I just proved to you that Warwick Davis is a leprechaun. He smokes weed. Leprechauns do smoke drugs, which proves the news clip from NBC from earlier. Now the only question remains is where are they, what's happening to these leprechauns? Are they being killed off somehow? Are they being trapped in boxes? Is the General Mills company, getting their wishes granted and then just doing whatever they want? Let me know in the comments section below what you think. This has been blatant hypocrisy, hip-hop-cricy, something. Signing out.